Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Litchfield Planning Board meeting of September 7th, 2021. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay. I'll start with the roll call of members present. Michael Proto, Chair.
Kate Stevens, Vice Chair.
Ron Stevens, member.
Kimberly Queenan, Selectman's Rep.
James Buffetti, member.
Okay. Curtis, it will not be with us this evening. I did get an email from Joshua Smith. He is actually stepping down from the board, just so you know. We can talk about that a little later this evening. First, public input on non-agenda items not on the agenda for this evening. Is there anyone in the public who would like to address non-agenda items this evening, items not on the agenda? Okay. Seeing none, I'll close public input on non-agenda items, and we'll start with the first order of business this evening. Wilson Farms, Inc., 144 Charles Bancroft Highway. Expedited review of farm buildings, tax map 6, lot 31, 153 Charles Bancroft Highway, a 30 foot by 30 foot storage shed, tax map 6, lot 30, 147 Charles Bancroft Highway, a 10,800 square foot agricultural storage building, and tax map 1, lot 17, 62 Charles Bancroft Highway, a 7,200 square foot agricultural storage building. Is the applicant present this evening?
Yes, applicant's present.
Okay, would the applicant would like to come forward, have a seat at the table, introduce yourself and to the board.
Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate it. My name is Peter Flynn from Flynn Construction. I've been contracted to build the buildings and to try to orchestrate everything. And I'm here tonight because Brent Cole from Granite Engineering couldn't be here.
Okay.
So I came here with my to represent him. Hi, Jay. How are you? Nice to see you. This is Mr. Scott Wilson
Mhm.
and his daughter Lauren.
Nice to meet
And
you.
we have Keith Marshall, the farm manager. We have the wetland scientist with us, John in the back, and my son John from Flint Construction.
Okay.
And we made an application, and we'd like to see if you had any questions. We hope to seek approval tonight so that we can make the harvest time, if you would. And I would open it to any questions. I hope to be able to answer anything that you might have a concern with.
Okay. Thank you very much. You're welcome to have a seat if you like.
Okay.
So this is an expedited review under our site plan regulations. And that you can find at section 180, submission requirements for expedited review of farm buildings and minor site plans. So essentially, to qualify as a farm under our site plan regs, the farm must have at least 4 acres of productive land with a cash income earned from farm produce at least $1,000. Planning board may require proof of farm income, and a minor site plan shall include proposals with a developed area of 40,000 square feet or less where no new habitable structures or significant expansions of existing habitable structures are proposed. Before we start the presentation this evening, I guess I'll turn to Jay. We usually start our site plan reviews with an acceptance of the application that has been presented to the board. I know that the applicant has presented a number of items, including a plan of the structures that are here this evening. We also would require that abutters have been notified to this project, and that all fees, if there are any fees, been paid and also that the paperwork that's been submitted is acceptable for completeness. So I'll ask you, Jay. I don't usually I would ask Joan. She's not here tonight, but have you reviewed the plans that have been submitted by Wilson Farms, and would you say that they are accepted for would be accepted for completeness by the board?
Yes.
And all abutters fees, all abutters have been notified and fees paid.
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay, all right. So at this time, I would, the board can entertain a motion to accept the application for its completeness at this time.
So, Mr. Chairman, I don't have the application. I don't know if it's
Oh,
okay.
Okay,
I don't think I'm getting all the documents. I have the site plan, but I don't have the application.
Yeah, the application form itself wasn't uploaded to the file.
Okay.
I noticed that as well.
okay.
And was there a staff review?
Yes, I emailed it to you because it looks as though some people couldn't get
you ju-
access to it when it was added to the site.
Did you
So-
just do that, Jay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me see. if I
Looks
can
like people
find
had to ask me to give them access to it. So some
Yeah,
people did,
sometimes
some
it asks
people
for
didn't.
permission,
It's
and-
been
Yeah, it's kind of
challenging.
strange.
it. Okay.
So,
It's just that it's difficult to
no,
vote on the acceptance of an application that you haven't seen. So,
that's perfectly acceptable. Only- So I do see.
oh yeah. Okay.
um,
I see it here. Thank
You
you.
got it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I also see, I think there's a couple of waiver requests, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken.
they're all in one form.
Yes. Does it look good? Everybody else? Okay. All right. So I would, entertain a motion to accept the application for its completeness at
I'll
this
make
time.
that motion.
Okay. I have a motion by Kate. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Kim. Do I have any discussion? All right, all those in favor of acceptance of this application for its completeness, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Abstained? Motion passes 5-0-0. Okay. So the application has been accepted, and I'm going to assume for purposes of this review that there is no regional impact. I would doubt that would be the case for this project. So I don't see any regional impact. So I'll make a note of that at this time. So at this time, what I would like, if the applicant could maybe give us a little bit of insight in what they're planning to do. I see you have a plan that's presented. Give the board just an overview of what you would like, us to approve tonight and what it is that you're seeking. So I'll let you guys take the floor.
Start off. Okay. We've got a couple of different drawings here. And this is, does everybody know where Wilson Farm is? I'm sure.
I think
So across the street, there's the fields of different vegetables that are grown. And this is Charles Bancroft Highway. So pretty far off the road, we have a new 30 by 30 storage building that we've actually already started. We've got a building permit for the foundation only, which is right next to a fabric storage building that stores hay now. We'd like to put another 60 by 180 storage building also for storing hay, obviously to keep it dry. And that is going to be tucked behind this tree line, not very visible from the road. And so those are the first two. And then we have one that's probably 1.5 miles from the farm, heading south towards Hudson on the right-hand side. It's 4 or 5/10 of a mile in off the road out in the middle of the farm field. That is going to be a 60 by 120 building, a steel structure, non-combustible, for storage of harvest containers. So that's where a good portion of the vegetables are grown, and they want to be able to store their containers and vegetables under cover during harvest time, and then obviously off season. We've got some some plans here, the exterior elevations of what the buildings will look like. So I have the 30 by 30, which is pretty simple. Tractor drives through it and gets filled with water. We're going to be bringing water into the facility. And then the building out in the middle of the big field down the road is going to have some natural light because we don't have electricity out there. We're not going to have electricity, so the light in the facing north will provide natural light. And then we have a building that's much like the one that's there now. It's going to be white, if I'm correct, Scott. And that's the guard all building, which is going to hold all the hay. So those are the buildings. I do have my notes with me. If there's any questions that you would have regarding what we'd like to have approved tonight, is to have the placement of these buildings approved so that we can keep moving. We've got concrete in this building. We're digging now for the foundations for this building, and this building is actually sitting in warehouses waiting to come up. We're a little behind schedule. I got caught up, or I should say, Brent and I got caught up in the timing of the planning board meeting. So we were hoping to get in the beginning of August, so we'd be farther along, but now it's September. So we're pretty anxious to see if we can get approved tonight. I'm very hopeful.
So can you just explain where these buildings are going to be? Again, I'm trying to visualize in my head because I know where Wilson Farms is, but so are they going to be in the back of this near the river, or what's?
This is across the
Oh,
street.
this is
across the
street?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
This would be on the west side, the east side of Route 3. And as you're driving towards Hudson, this side of Charles Bancroft is where all the older buildings are that they operate out of now.
Okay.
There's a red building, they're all red buildings in there where the farm stand used to be. And then directly across the street is this white building that's there now.
Okay.
So right in front of it is this one, which is on our scale here, we're a few hundred feet off the road, so setbacks are fine. And then this one is tucked up to the tree line. There's a man-made pond here, and we're going to be on the roadside, Charles Bancroft side of the pond.
Okay. And so these structures are going to be set in place. What is it? What type of, is it a material or something, or is it these you just place them in concrete, or how does that work?
Yes,
I'm just curious.
So the 30 by 30 building is a stick-built wood structure, like building a garage.
Okay.
With concrete foundations, frost walls, etc.
Mhm.
And then the guard all building is supported with concrete blocks, which are 2 feet by 4 feet by 2 feet, and they get embedded into the ground, anchored together to the structure that I pointed out, which is here. So these are the blocks down at the bottom. So you see 1.5 blocks sticking out of the ground, and then you have this structure that's tied to it, and then they stretch a non-flammable fabric over it. The fabric's meant to be translucent, so that you can get lots of natural light.
Okay.
So this, we're just trying to picture where it is. It's not where the sign is, where the farm stand is.
That's correct. It's on the other side of the street,
Past that, going towards Hudson? No,
directly
but
across the street.
Just north.
directly,
North of the sign.
just
Just north, yeah.
By about a couple hundred feet.
It's
Okay.
just south of the Blueberry Farm.
That's where the blueberry.
It looks like it's part of the Blueberry Farm.
Oh,
It
okay.
looks-
Oh, all
it's
right.
right next
okay.
door.
Oh, all right. All right. And there's a building there now.
Yes, sir.
That's I always thought that was part of the blueberry DeRoches, but that's part of the
Right.
Wilsons.
Right next to it is the existing white building. that's up
Yep.
now.
Okay. All right. And then the other is going south on Charles Bancroft on the right-hand side.
On the riverside. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Yep. Okay. And how far off from the road is it?
The south of us,
Yeah.
it's at least 4/10 of a mile. It's
Okay.
almost just about a half a mile off the road.
Okay.
Off the Charles Bancroft Highway.
Okay.
Are there any impact to any wetlands or anything, or is it just, is there a wetland?
No, sir. The the southernmost building is up on dry ground. We've got a good high spot there. These buildings are outside of any wetlands. We're adjacent to some,
Mhm.
but it's a packed gravel area now, and we're just gonna be covering that up with the building.
And are you in a floodplain? Is that there a
No, sir.
floodplain? Okay, okay. Um, do you know if this is within a quarter mile of the Merrimack River?
These buildings are certainly farther away,
Okay,
and the other one, we've got at least 3/4 of a mile before we get to the river.
okay. Anybody have any questions? Further questions?
I have a question. Access from the main road to the buildings.
So there's an existing driveway entrance that's been used for 100 years. It goes down near the Blueberries. And then the other building that's south of us has got an existing road that they use for harvesting. Well-maintained, pretty rugged. We've been in and out of there with equipment already. And it's adequate for traffic, for heavy equipment and trucking.
And these are the only buildings on these two parcels. The other buildings nearby are the neighboring property.
Right.
Okay. I didn't realize that was two separate owners. I saw
Yeah.
the new
Oh, yeah.
building going up and I was like, oh, what are they doing? You know? But okay, thank you.
I see you have some waiver requests. Maybe you could address those at this time?
That was something that I talked to Jay about, and
Okay.
and the waivers are required. We have to ask for them based on statute, I guess, something along those lines. I'm not
Town
exactly.
regs.
Yeah, town regulations.
So I filled that out, and I think that's been uploaded to the file.
Okay, all right. Did you want to address those to the board?
Don't have a whole lot of experience with waivers,
Okay.
being a contractor. I don't know if, John, do you have any knowledge of the waivers at all?
Specifically for this town, no.
Okay.
I could probably speak to them.
Okay,
That's okay.
yeah, sure.
So there's a fee required, and they're primarily for the same reasons. So first of all, waivers from the traffic impact study and from the internal circulation plan. I think just based on the fact that there really isn't going to be additional traffic, and this is really storage buildings for an on-site existing use. So there's not really circulation issues that need to be addressed. Waiver request from stormwater management report, again, pretty insignificant stormwater impacts from these buildings. And then from several of the requirements that are typical, such as showing the boundaries for the entire property. Again, these are very, very large lots, so it's challenging to show them all. Topography, again, showing the topo for all of those buildings within 200 feet of the site and other natural features, all really for the same reasons. These are very large parcels, so it would be challenging to be able to show all of that information.
And I'm sure that, I mean, you would agree with what Jay. Okay. What you said, what was going to be stored? You say one, I know something about hay. You were storing hay and, what would-
In the guard hall
yeah.
building, which is the white building that's going to be adjacent to the existing building. That's going to be used for storing hay, and they use that for, well, I guess I could. Scott, explain that one.
Not only do we store the hay for future use over our strawberries and pansies for making through the winter, but we also sell the straw. It works as a great cover crop for rotation. You have to do it. So.
Okay, any other questions? Jay, did you have anything else you wanted to add to?
I don't know, I mean, we did notice that a couple of items that, you know, do need to be added to the plans, signature line for the planning board, you know, engineer, surveyor stamp. And I did note just a change to the title from conceptual to just site plan.
I did communicate that to Brett this afternoon.
Okay. Well, so at this time, I'll open it up to public comment. Is there any members of the public who wish to comment on this application this evening? If there is, we just ask you come forward, state your name and address for the record. Okay. Hearing none, I'll close public input on this. I'll come and bring it back to the board. We can certainly vote on the waivers first. We can do approval. How do you guys want to, what's the will of the board on this project?
I'll make a motion to approve the waivers.
Okay,
Second.
okay. I have a motion by Kate. I have a second by James. And just for the record, that site plan regulation section 150.4 traffic impact study. Site plan regulation section 150.5 internal circulation plan, and site plan regulation section 150.7 F contour lines, J boundary of entire parcel, K bearings and distances of all property lines, M soil types, P location of all buildings, etc. within 200 feet, Q stormwater drainage plans, R topography, S features with 200 feet of site, and W description of potential vehicular obstructions. All right, a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of approval of the waivers requests we've just mentioned, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, abstained, motion passes 5-0-0. Okay. So does anyone want to entertain a motion for approval, conditional approval? What would you like to do?
I just ask one
Yeah, go
question. I believe I believe you just barely made the height requirement of the Southwest Commercial of 56 feet, right? Is that true?
The highest structure that we're going to have here is going to be 32 feet.
32 feet? Okay. And then 35 feet was the residential. All right. I just wanted to make sure. I looked like you added two pieces like between the roof and on the drawing. Okay. Oh, that was it for me.
Okay. Anything else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve based on the conditions that Jay talked about, changing the title of the plan from conceptual site plan to site plan, addition of a planning board signature block, which is needed, addition of the owner's signature, and addition of a stamp from a registered surveyor or engineer for the plan.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Kate, a second by Ron. Do I have any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of approval of this application for tax map, excuse me, hold on a second. Tax maps,
It's 30, 31, and 17, I think.
find what I'm looking for. Just bear with me. Can't do that. Here it is. Here we go. For tax map, so this is for Wilson Farm Inc., 144 Charles Bancroft Highway, Expedited Review Farm Buildings, tax map 6, lot 31, 153 Charles Bancroft Highway. A 30 feet by 30 feet storage shed, tax map 6, lot 30, 147 Charles Bancroft Highway, 10,800 square foot agricultural storage building, and tax map 1, lot 17, 62 Charles Bancroft Highway, 7,200 square feet agricultural storage building with the conditions. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, abstained, motion passes 5-0-0. Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Distinguished
Thank you
Yes.
for your time.
members. And
Sir.
Jay, thank you for
Appreciate
your
it.
thank
help.
you. Nice to meet
Thank you
you.
very much.
I'll catch up to you. Yeah, I'm sure you will. Thank you, sir.
Have a good night. Mhm.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
you.
Appreciate it.
Good night.
Thanks again.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, before I start the next application, I just wanted to introduce our new building inspector is here this evening. Hey, if you want to introduce yourself to the board, he introduced himself earlier.
Building inspector, 5 weeks now.
Welcome aboard. Figured I'd have him come in and introduce himself to the board and let you know who our new person is. So thank you for coming. Our next item is Mel's Funway Park, 443 and 454 Charles Bancroft Highway, tax map 20, lots 14 and 17, owners Whitney Realty Trust and KBT Realty Trust. A site plan amendment to propose, adding 58 parking places in 3 locations, add stormwater drainage, a winter light show along with the existing trails where the haunted hayride currently lies, an outdoor laser tag arena throughout the woods where the haunted hayride currently lies, and a Christmas tree sales area with a children's petting zoo adjacent to the arcade building. For a more detailed view of all that is proposed on site, please see the site plan entitled Mel's Funway Site Plan Amendment. If the aforementioned applications are accepted, notice is hereby extended to application approval, consideration, and/or continuations to a date certain as required. We received an email from Andy Perlman, the attorney for the applicants this evening. I'll probably just read this into the record. Says, folks, we were scheduled before the Litchfield Planning Board tonight to take up our site plan amendment. But given the 3 staff reports we received this morning, we thought it best to postpone our first hearing until October 5th and meet with you prior to the hearing to run through updated plans and address outstanding comments. We would like to meet at 2 p.m. at Litchfield Town Hall on either Wednesday, September 22nd, Thursday, September 23rd, or Tuesday, September 28th. Please advise what works best and I'll send out a confirmation. Figure 1 to 1.5 hours. Thanks, Andrew A. Perlman, Perlman, professional attorneys. So looks like they're looking for a continuance of this application. And we can certainly do that. I don't see the applicant here this evening, so I assume they're not showing up tonight. And I assume they're requesting us to continue it to another date certain. So,
What were the dates and times that they're requesting again? Did I hear
well,
2
I
p.m.?
think the date that they want for the site plan is October 5th.
Okay.
The other dates, I think, are to meet with staff here at Town Hall, like Joan or
Okay.
Jay or the building inspector or someone
So I heard 2
to
p.m.
discuss, whatever comments are being provided. So I think the actual site plan is October 5th,
Okay.
is the when they want to come in. So if you want, we can certainly move this to another date if that's the will of the board.
Do we have anything else on October 5th?
I don't know. I know, Jay, do you know?
Yeah,
I don't think
but
there's
it's,
anything.
but I did see, I got a packet on my desk today. but
Yeah.
I have not opened it. So it's possible that there'll be another application. I can't say there won't be.
Not possible. Okay. So,
And our workshop on land use. We can't let that slip.
right, and I think what
That's
I'm
the
trying,
21st.
yeah, that's the 20, what we're trying to do is do like the second, this second weekend, or the third week in the month to see what reserved for that.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, if you guys want, the applicant is actually looking for a request to continue. I can entertain a motion to continue it to October 5th. For review. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Go ahead.
My name is Rick Charbonneau, 401 Charles Bancroft Highway. So for this application tonight, I was not notified, and I should have received 2 notifications, so that if they are going to go to October 5th, then they probably, instead of continuing this meeting, they probably should re-notify everybody, because if I didn't get it, did somebody else not get it? But I didn't get any, and, I should have got 2, and I got 0. So I think it would be better, just so there's not an appeal. If you have time, they should re-notify everybody, just to be sure. The other thing that I would like the board to do, if you would, the sidewalk issue is going to come up. So I would like the board members to drive in and look at the way they left the sidewalk. Okay, and see, I blocked it off so that you don't think I'm just a jerk. I just blocked off the sidewalk on them. You need to go in and look to see how they left it and how it doesn't tie into anything. There were people down there on bicycles. There were kids walking. There was a lady 2 women pushing baby carriages. They get to the end of the walk and there is no place to go. So please drive in there and just look at it so that you have a visual. I think it's important that you see how they left it. They never got an easement to build the sidewalk to begin with. When they did do that, the land was owned by my family, and I bought it from them. So they leased the land from my family, from my sisters actually, and my mother and father both passed away. I bought it from them, but they never got permission or an easement to build that sidewalk, and they show it on a site plan. So. And since then, since I blocked it off through my attorney, it's called Danny Perlman, and I told them, because I really believe in the sidewalk, that I would give them an easement to build the sidewalk on the property line as long as they build it correctly. And there's been no response. So the sidewalk is an issue. It's something that they never completed, and it should be in operation right now with the permits that they have.
Right. So they were leasing that property for overflow parking.
Correct, across the street.
Right. And it doesn't sound like they're intending to do that anymore.
I'm not going to lease it to them.
You're not going to lease it to them. Okay. And I forgot I know the sidewalk was discussed at the last time. I'm not sure what the specifics were of that
Sidewalk was part of their approval for an occupancy permit for the bumper boats.
Okay.
Okay, in that
Yeah.
park that they have. So which they paved the sidewalk, but they never tied it into 3A. And they never got a permit from the state to cross 3A as a sidewalk,
Right.
which you need to do that.
So it's a sidewalk to nowhere. I mean, it travels the edge of the property.
It doesn't travel the, it just meanders through the property. They didn't
Okay.
build it on the property line. It just meanders through the easiest way that they could build it, they built it. And then it just ends. So if you drive in and look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not
Yeah.
just being a jerk shutting it off.
Well, I think it was meant to tie into the parking lot, not to 3A, because they're
Well,
not having
we-
people crossing without
How do you not cross 3A with a sidewalk? How do you just stop
just
it?
overflow for Spooky World when they had.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was
Crossing guard.
Spooky World when they walked down from Colby
Right.
Road.
And they had traffic attendants
So,
to help people cross
so
the
what do you
road.
do in the summertime? There's a sidewalk out there.
But I guess I don't understand how I mean, it was part of the site plan. They put it in there as part of this expansion of the bumper boats, right? How did they do that without the permission of the owners? You said that they had never had an easement, but I'm assuming the owners at the time, it wasn't you, it was your family, but they were aware that how did they do that?
They just did it.
Okay.
And they got their certificate of occupancy.
Yes.
They just did it.
And that is one of the issues that was
That
flagged.
was the
Right,
whole
That
thing
was
was
the
hinged
sidewalk
on
is one
that
of the
sidewalk.
issues that's flagged in the staff memo.
So that's gonna come up more, you don't have to keep talking about it tonight. Just go in and look at it. That's all I'd ask you to do. Just go look at it. So you can see what they did. I'm not trying to be unreasonable. I'll give them an easement. They just have to build it right. And it has to be built so that people in July that walk down there can cross the road.
Or it needs to be blocked.
Why would they want an ease if they couldn't park there? And the purpose of it, I think, was to get people who are parking to have a sidewalk. Why would they want an easement?
Because there's people that come down from up and behind there that go to
Park behind.
not just Spooky World,
Like
but
Vermonter's
for
area.
all the things. People
Yeah.
drive down there. I mean, people are on bike this summer, bikes, kids,
Yeah.
ladies with mothers with pushing their baby carriages down
Okay.
there.
All right.
So they're not just open for Spooky World. They're open they're going for
Yeah.
year round.
But
So-
people are parking not on their main property. They're parking
It
on the
could,
other side of the road somewhere up.
wherever, it's people that live up behind there.
Yeah.
It's just people in general,
Okay.
not just people parking a car and it's people going
The
down there.
neighbors, I mean, people that
Neighbors,
that live in the
anybody.
neighborhood. Okay.
It was all part of the approval and it still needs to be addressed.
But so if we're not going to come back until October 5th,
Mhm.
I'm assuming that this isn't Spooky World, hasn't that already begun?
No,
It doesn't begin until
it'll be but this isn't for Spooky
October
World.
24th?
September 20th.
The
Oh,
starting
so-
setup.
Yeah, this is, but the next meeting is October 5th.
Right.
And part of it is to address the parking issue, right? So what are they going to do between September 24th and October 5th or so when I mean, they would have to, part of it is they're going to construct a parking.
Well, they want to add more parking, but
Right.
they have parking in the field the field that they use for corn right now,
Yeah.
that becomes a parking lot.
Okay, so they'll just use that
That's their old.
temporarily.
That was what was approved.
think that
It's
was
overflow
originally,
parking
yeah.
for Spooky.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
there's a whole ton of issues that are going to come up here. It's not, this
Okay.
isn't.
All right.
What they have approved is what they have approved. It's all these add-on things that they want to do are going to be,
Yep.
in my eyes, are going to be issues.
okay.
Whether they are or not, if you guys approve it, you approve it, but we have a lot of questions.
Okay,
Very good. Well,
right.
thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Rick.
There was a letter from Troy and from Jeff.
Yes.
Should we enter that into the record or wait for the
No.
next meeting?
We don't
Once
talk
again,
about
it-
cases.
I
they're
don't
not here,
think we
right?
can do
Can't
that.
see, but
Yeah.
I was going to
Without-
email it to everybody, but I knew that this was,
Yeah.
they were asking for the continuance.
Probably
so-
better that the applicant be present.
Right, but you will find that letter, which is building inspector, you've got a memo from me, and then you've also got a memo from Luke Heron. So there are multiple issues that have been raised.
But does that memo that we got today from Jeff, does that go to the applicant?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
It
they
did,
would
it
get
did
it.
already.
It did,
Why they're
okay.
asking.
That's all I received. I didn't receive any, there were other things, other documents, but the only thing I
Yeah.
received was the memo from Jeff.
There should be a memo from me addressed to Peter Madsen on the site, dated,
Right.
that
You
was
want
on the
I
site.
have the hard
August
copy.
25th.
You want the hard copy?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
2021.
have all three. You want all three?
that's August 25th.
Okay.
Is there, and yeah, I don't want to keep talking about it without them
Right.
present, but last time we had this, we had floated the idea of separate site plans for
Here's all three.
Spooky World and Mel's. And now looking at this new plan, it's hard to read. I think they should consider separating it out, but I don't know if that's something that we would need to ask or talk about.
I mean, we
at
went
the
back
next
and forth
meeting.
on that because we also had the issue of initially Spooky World wasn't addressed, and then there was the concern that we need to address it. So that led to everything being on one plan. But I mean, that's one of the things that we raised in the staff memo is that it's confusing. Understanding what's going on the site is confusing.
I can't even tell, is the light show supposed to be driving or walking through?
It's driving.
Okay,
You won't get that. I don't think you'll see that on the plans though.
That's right.
Not defined on the plans.
You also don't see where it starts and ends. I mean,
right, and I
you're getting
don't
into the
see-
weeds, but there
Right.
are a lot of issues.
Maybe it's just set different, you know, most site plans will have like a separate, almost like a separate page of the same view, but it'll have, you know,
Yeah.
the wetlands detail and it'll have buildings detail and like a separate page, but it's all the same view.
There are a number of
Would be like to see.
additional sheets for each one of the areas.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will also make sure you get that on the
Yeah.
site because
Okay, maybe
apparently,
that's
yeah,
what we're
I learned I didn't realize until today that you only have the cover sheet. So
Oh,
there are detailed sheets. Even with the detailed sheets,
yes.
it's challenging to understand
Okay,
what's proposed.
all right, so we'll address those, I guess.
Yeah, I
at the
think we
continued-
need to address those with the applicant.
So these are the three reports that Attorney Pullman was talking about that he needs time to digest. That's
I believe
Right,
so, and I
report.
believe the town engineer, Luke
Mhm.
Heron, may have had some.
Yeah, he's-
Yeah,
Yes.
and I did add to the site today.
Yeah,
So we've got the letter from Luke Heron.
Yep.
Which has several comments. We did also have a brief note from the police chief, and that was added to the site. That's very good.
okay.
But the comments, at greater length
Okay.
are from the town engineer, building inspector, and myself. Just to note, though, my memo didn't come today. Just saying.
Right. I mean, one of them,
There's 50 of them.
one of them was dated. Yours was dated August 25th.
Right.
So they'd had that for a while.
Yes.
And then the police chief's was August 30th. Okay. Well, all right.
So I'll make a motion to continue to October 5th.
okay.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Kate, second by James. Do I have discussion? All right, all those in favor of continuing Mel's Funway to site plan amendment to October 5th, 2021 at 7 PM here in Town Hall, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, abstained, motion passes 500, and we'll make sure that all the abutters are notified. So, okay. All right. Okay, moving on. Committee reports. Are there any reports of any committees? Kim, do you have anything?
I do. Board of Selectmen, next meeting is September 13th on Monday at 6:30 PM here at the Town Hall. They would like me to bring up potentially open space to look at that potential loophole that we found last meeting where agricultural was allowed, but still you could have 5,000 to 10,000 cars showing up on a commercial. um, and bring it to the voters. So it's either let's look at our ordinance, see if we can tighten it up, or have a check and balance put in so the perpetual or perpetuity deed doesn't allow commercial, whatever we need to do to look at it, or cancel the ordinance altogether, but at least have the discussion. And if the planning board wants to bring it to the voters, to do that. Nashua Regional Planning Commission, the next commissioner meeting is Wednesday, September 22nd. I saw the date change, Jay, at 7 PM. Is it open to the public at this point, or are they
Yes.
dialing? Okay, it's open to the public in Nashua at 30 Temple Street at 7 PM in Nashua. And that's all I have.
Okay. I actually attended the Lower Merrimack Local River Advisory Committee meeting well, not last week. Yeah, last week. What am I saying? No, last week I was on vacation, or the week before. I can't remember anymore. In Nashua City Hall. The Mel's Funway was discussed, I guess, at that meeting. I actually came in on the end of that. I did not see the applicant when they were presenting, but I guess they, Lower Merrimack made comments to the for the applicant to for their permit for shoreline and
Where
for.
would we get this?
What's that?
See, where would we see those comments?
You could probably see them on, I believe they are available on the Department of Environmental Services website. You might even get the,
Yeah, we usually get a letter. I didn't see one for Mel's, but I know they sent letters on 2 other projects. So
I did receive from the chair, Fran Murphy, a letter that was, and I can actually read that into the record. He actually sent a letter to us. Just to find it. I know what. Let's pull it. My other email. See if I can get into it. Sign out. New account. Here it is. Comments. Comments. Murphy. Here it is. All right, this is the that was sent from the local advisory committee regarding the Mel's Funway Shoreline permit application. Following review of the application at our public meeting on August 26, 2021, the Lower Merrimack River Local Advisory Committee has concluded that we are comfortable with the plan. However, we note that the plan, unfortunately, but by necessity, calls for not adopting best management practices for groundwater retention and infiltration because of the presence of the PFOAs that have emitted from the St. Gobain Performance Plastics plant on DW Highway in Merrimack. The goal is not to encourage the infiltration of PFOAs. The Lower Merrimack River Local Advisory Committee encourages the owner-managers only to hire Green Snow Pro certified contractors for snow and ice management on their property. The Lower Merrimack River Local Advisory Committee's longstanding goal is to encourage pedestrian access to the Merrimack River. We urge the owner to consider ways to accommodate pedestrian access to the Merrimack River. Respectfully submitted, Francis G. Murphy, Chairman. So that was the, and that email was sent, let's see, September 2nd, 2021. Those are the recommendations. Conservation met last Thursday. I did not attend that meeting. I was on vacation, so I know Joan was there. And that's it for comment, unless anyone has any questions. Also, just so you know, at the local Merrimack River meeting, they also, there were a couple of other projects related to Nashua and I believe Merrimack. So the other two. So, okay. Approval of the minutes of the last meeting.
I have a couple changes. If that's
Okay,
okay.
great.
I'll let everybody pull it up because one of them,
All right.
I want the group to decide where they want the comment to go.
All right,
Just let me know when everybody's
get
ready.
back in here.
And I'll give this to Joan, so I'll email her the text directly. So she doesn't have to get it off the recording. Does everybody have the minutes
Yep.
on page 2? Where it's in about a third of the way down, it says questions from the board.
Mhm.
All right, I would like in that one to say Selectman Queenan. Questions that appears to be a conflict on the deed in perpetuity between section 1, where it states on the deed that you are not allowed to have commercial activity, and sections 2A and 3A, where it lists certain commercial activities are allowed. Selectman Queenan asked if covenants 2A and 3A overwrote item 1, and it was told that 2A and 3A did overwrite item 1. All right, number 2, where it's currently, I wanted to say Selectman Queenan cited an example that if commerce is allowed on agricultural open space land like this lot in perpetuity, then if 40 cars a day visit the site per day, approximately 200 cars a week, which is about 10,000 cars per year. She said if she found it hard to believe that New Hampshire Fish and Game, New Hampshire Forestry, and New Hampshire lawmakers crafting the open space laws would want 5,000 to 10,000 cars on open space agricultural property. I don't know about the next one where we want to put Attorney Hollis made a remark. We can either put it under number 3 or 4. Mr. Hollis said a remark or Jay, but basically along the line that Attorney Hollis said that in the future perpetuity deeds can be written to not allow commercial use on agricultural open space land. He kind of agreed with me that I found the issue. And Jay had said on number 4 under there that conservation open space does allow farming on open space, which it does. That's what I mean. It's fuzzy here. There was a loophole found. So I don't know if we want to put where Mr. Hollis said that perpetuity deeds can be written to not allow commercial use on agricultural space land. He said his deed could go through because it was approved 2 years ago. But in the future, he said we could look at that. So this is why I just think we need to look at this potential problem. Either look at our ordinances, which I see every other town in NRPC is doing the same thing. It's probably a state issue. So I don't know if we look at agricultural or commercial or really hone in on our open space or remove it, but let's just have the discussion is all I'm saying, because I'm going to make up the number. I forget if he built 14 homes on this lot, donated this for conservation open space, which is going to be agricultural. And now there's a commercial business going on in there, so it seems like a loophole to me. So I don't know where you want me to put about Mr. Hollis. He kind of agreed that I figured it out and said not on this time, but in the future. I don't know if you want to put it under number 3 where he was speaking or after Jay. Do you have a preference or do you want me to just pick one?
I'm open. I'd say pick one.
I'll pick one. All right. So I'll mail this, what I just read, to Joan.
Yeah.
And I'll pick 3 or 4. I think it was more number 3, but okay. Does that make sense why I'm trying to get that on the record?
Yes.
Okay. Rest look good.
All right. Anybody have any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
So moved.
All right. I have a motion by Ron. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kate. Do we have discussion? All right. All those in favor of approval of the minutes of August 17, 2021. Please signify by saying aye.
As
Aye.
amended.
As amended.
As amended, yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, are those opposed, abstained? Motion passes 500. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Okay, any other business? Jay, do you have anything?
I do not.
Just one thing, I know that we are in budget season, is my understanding right now.
It's about to start. Kate
Getting
should
started.
know.
That's right, you're on the budget committee, I forgot. Yes, you know, better than anybody. So I know that the planning board budget is going to be reviewed. I didn't know if there was anything, comments from the budget committee or anything from the meeting that, did you attend?
We
all that?
haven't, the budget committee hasn't reviewed it. I
Anything?
believe it went to the Board of Selectmen.
Okay,
I think I heard
Yeah,
you guys talking
nothing
about that, right?
stood out really.
nothing stood out to you
No.
guys? Okay. No, I just want to make sure, I mean, I know other committees review their budgets and I want to make sure we're sort of in the loop on that. Sometimes we
Sure.
kind of,
As soon as it's on,
Let
I'll
that-
let you know as soon as it's on the official agenda.
okay, great.
Which date we're up for.
So, okay, just something to think about.
Yep.
Okay. So our next meeting is September 21st? Okay, at 7:00 here in Town Hall. Anything else from anybody? If not, I don't have anything else this evening. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Kate, second by Ron. We have discussion. All those in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstained, motion passes 500. Thank you for joining us this evening, and we'll see you again on the 21st. Hope you all had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Take care.